Happy Wine Wednesday, Canadian wine lovers.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, everyone across Canada and France.
Yeah, because guess what? We are on an epic first ever members trip to Burgundy. And so we're actually here from Beaune in the heart of Burgundy, but we are here to talk about back home. So,
Yes.
literally across the lake from where we live, there is a very special bench called the Naramata Bench.
There you go.
And they make world-class wines, everything from like so many different varietals,
They make world-class wine, but also some of our very best winemakers are
yes,
there, are
yes,
making wines from the bench.
including Richard De Silva, who's here with us with Twyla. They're here in Burgundy. They're from the Naramata Bench. But what we want to say today is we have a very special interview coming to you from the Naramata Bench with Kathy Malone. And this is someone who has worked with the Naramata Bench for a long time.
Very long time.
Very amazing winemaker. And it's a winery that is one of the original few that that said, hey, we can make world-class wine here on the Naramata Bench, and advocated for
From Gate,
licenses.
from Gate license, they were the part of the first three. They were part of the first group of winery owner that made that happen. So they reshaped entirely the BC wine industry.
Absolutely.
What they did. So Vera and her husband, when they moved from Czechoslovakia in 1978, and we'll hear from Kathy, but the highlight of that is the 1983 planting, where they planted Gamay and Muscat Ottonel. And you'll see in that pack that we have here in the selection, both of these wines are all-star wines of the offering coming up this week. So it's really exciting. Also some Merlots because, like I've talked with Kathy, the Merlots are not only the unsung hero of the Naramata Bench, but according to Kathy, from the entire Okanagan Valley. And she
Yeah,
would like
it's
to
a sleeper. It's something that only people in the know about. The fact that the Merlot from the Naramata Bench is age worthy, super fresh, super
balance,
delicious, balanced.
elegance, and yeah, guess what's in my glass right now?
Ooh, is it a hillside wine?
It
So if
is.
you haven't guessed or didn't hear yet, we're talking about Hillside Winery this week, and we're interviewing winemaker Kathy Malone in just a moment. Carl is. And we have some of the Hillside wines
In Burgundy,
in Burgundy with us.
including a Chardonnay.
Chardonnay.
It was so much fun to pour some of the hillside unoaked Chardonnay to winemakers and people here in the industry, and their reactions are. Oh, it's always so much fun to see the French reaction of these people. But yeah,
Because they can't believe how good our wines are coming
yeah.
from Canada. From Canada. A lot of people here don't even know we make wine.
Well, that's what
Oh.
the first day when I cracked some of, because believe it or not, we brought 60 bottles of Canadian wines with us here in Burgundy. But the first bottle that I opened was this one. And one of the first persons said, from Canada? I didn't even know that you guys were making wines. Hey, make sure if I switch in French during the live,
Yeah.
please let me know. Okay.
Charles been switching to French quite a bit, but that's
French.
okay. We speak French in Canada too.
French
So.
to English, and sometimes I go on, and the people are like, Carl, here. So, anyway, it's been so much fun so far. But let's talk about Hillside because a very special place to grow grape to produce wine, and the lineup that we have this week is so exciting. I mean,
So run us through the lineup just in a nutshell, and then we're going to get into the interview very shortly, guys.
Perfect. 2025 on Oak Pinot Gris. And the reason why is because we rarely feature Pinot Gris. And one of the most approachable and fun Pinot Gris to taste with that little tint of pink
It's
color.
almost like a rosé.
It
I mean, it's a
is.
little bit of
It
skin
is
contact.
because it's a skin contact.
Yeah.
And we have members all over the country who often ask for the hillside, the hillside Pinot Gris. So yes, it is back, the 2025 vintage. which is the comeback vintage, right? The comeback
Because
vintage.
they didn't have a 2024 vintage.
No, 2025 on Oak Pinot Gris, $26. I love, love, love. I think I give it a 91 plus points. Really love that Pinot Gris, well priced. We go with the first ever at Hillside on Oak Sauvignon Blanc.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
this is so exciting. And for the first time, for the first of that iteration, they nailed it. I mean, $26, fresh, really soft blanc, and like that grapefruit and a little bit of guava and all of that beautiful stuff. So you smell it, you know you're drinking Sauvignon Blanc. So this wine can be the wine of the summer for a lot of people. So it's really exciting. And the other white in the discovery pack is none of the other than Mira's favorite wine, the Muscat.
Muscat Ottonel.
There you
It's one of my
go.
very favorite white wines. Um, Across the board from anywhere on the planet. It's so good year in and year out, and also only $26. And
Do
very
you
special varietal. I mean, only maybe three wineries make it in Canada,
Yeah,
if that.
if that.
And this is for sure the absolute best that I've tasted. It's just so refreshing.
1983
Yes.
So, do you know, and you'll hear it from in the interview that in the Vienna International Wine Competition, Muscat Ottonel has its own category.
No,
Absolutely.
that's funny.
How cool is that, right?
Great.
So, yeah.
Have they entered this one there?
Sorry, Kathy said the price of the shipping, the samples, and the like was kind of prohibitive.
Yeah.
I told her our next trip to Romania and Hungary, we're gonna
Yes.
bring the samples for the fall.
Oh, we need
But
to.
in that trip that we're organizing with members, only a couple spots left. We're bringing some Hillside Moscato Tonel with us. That is for sure. So that's the three whites in the Discovery Pack, all $26. On the red side, we have the 2021 Merlot Cabernet. This week we're here in France and we're discussing with a bunch of people, including winemakers, how rare it is to find a good wine sub $25. This wine is not sub $25, it's $27, but the quality of a red at that price point, we don't find a lot here in BC, but not here, but in BC and about here, we don't find anything. But I love that because this is the version of the approachable and very value driven wine at Hillside. The other two wines in the Discovery Pack is so it's the Malbec 2020 Malbec, which is an exclusive release for us, and at $45. Really beautiful Malbec. I need two Malbec now, especially Canadian Malbec. There's been a few that I've tasted since the beginning of 2026, and I just
Yeah.
want, yeah.
Yeah.
And another
I love the color of Malbec.
Yes,
Like
yes.
rich purple.
That's rich purpley
Yeah.
cassis, and yeah, this one is really, really, really good. And we have the 2021 Cap Franc as well. So 2021, 2020, and 2021 for the three reds. A little bit of age in these wines, all at least 5 years of age. Sorry. And that leaves for 185 for
Plus
dollars.
tax, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for a discovered pack, so pretty good. And that leads us to the special wines of the collector options with the ODV Merlot, so the original Dickinson Vineyard Merlot. When we're talking with Kathy, she said, I think they're producing four different single vineyard Merlots, and we have the Dickinson 2022, and I love the 22 vintage. So for that, we have the 2018 Mosaic, their Bordeaux blend. So 2018, fun wine, 8 years old now, just opening up, to my opinion. Like I think it's one of the very best wine in that pack, in a sense that's so complex, ready to drink, beautiful texture. I mean, that's what everything you want from a great Bordeaux blend, a Meritage from our region. We're gonna have the below the road rosé. listening to the interview again, you'll see that what Kathy's talking about below the road and above the road of the Naramata Bench Road. So, yeah, a super exclusive rosé, and we have, to my opinion, the very best Gamay in the country. And no offense, Thomas Batchelder makes some world class Gamay. When I tasted that Gamay, I gave it a 93 plus points. And that Gamay Noir from it's his, looking at the record, this is the oldest Gamay Noir vines in the country. And the wines are spectacular. So here, that's the five options of our discovery of our collector options.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fun and like some good mix between collector options and a nice discovery pack. Three white, three red, all super approachable. And yeah,
Very exciting. And I think
isn't it?
the best part, what we've learned in Burgundy, is when you get to talk with the winemaker, when you get to really get the inside stories, the full scoop. And that's exactly what we're about to do. So stay tuned. We're chatting with Kathy Malone, who's been a winemaker for what, well over 30 years in the Okanagan.
It's at least 20, 25.
Yeah, quite,
Yeah.
quite a veteran of the Okanagan. And she has been with Hillside for many years as well, and really, really is very generous in her knowledge and the stories she shares. So stay tuned. You're going to learn a little bit more about Hillside Winery and the great story there. One of the oldest wineries in BC.
Yeah, and I think that about Kathy is when you talk in about her to her peers.
Yeah,
You talk to other winemaker, and when you mention Kathy Malone, they
everybody
all have
loves
the same.
Kathy.
They all have the same. Oh, Kathy, I love Kathy.
Yes.
They all like she's so good. She's so knowledgeable. She's so generous of her knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many younger winemakers who goes to her for insights
Mentoring,
and
yeah.
as a mentoring.
And you can see that in the wines. These are always solid wines. Like
Wines
we've
with
been
soul.
tasting them for 6 years now, every year.
Yeah, every single year, every single
Really
year.
great wines. And some unique varietals and some really well made, like the Pinot Gris. Like we said, we hardly ever feature Pinot Gris. Well, guess what? This is not a boring Pinot Gris. This is one of the very best Pinot
Yeah.
Gris we found
Yeah.
from BC. So, and the red. So stay tuned. Have a listen to the interview with Kathy, and you can grab your Hillside wines this week to show up right at your door.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Wine Wednesday.
And now I have the privilege to be talking from one from one side of the world to the other. I have the privilege to talk with Kathy Malone on the Naramata Bench. Usually I talk to her from one side to the lake to another because we're in Summerland usually. She's on the Naramata Bench, but now we are in Burgundy. She's still on the Naramata Bench. Kathy, good morning, good evening. I'm
Into
not
the
sure.
afternoon here, yeah.
Good day, good day. How are you, Kathy?
I'm great. Great.
Good. That's great to talk to you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting with us. So let's talk a little bit here, okay? But first and foremost, how's the spring is going for you? Because now, I mean, spring is well. We're in the summer month almost. Flowering, bud break, all of that good stuff. How's the spring for you at Hillside?
That was good. We just finished flowering. Both bud break and bloom, I thought were on track to be sort of record early. But what ended up happening is both were on our record. So my earliest bud break is recorded as April 22nd, which I like because that's Earth Day.
Yeah.
There could be a little bit of bias in there. But I thought it was going to be, 3 to 5 days earlier, but no, it ended up being the same. And then again, because we've had so much unusual heat this spring, I expected bloom to be the same. And again, it was right on my earliest of May 31st. And then that unusual heat, like we were into the 30s even, that has ended, and the temperatures now are around the average and maybe a little bit lower. So, around 20 degrees. And so
Things have slowed down, right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Everyone was saying, oh no, we're going to be harvesting in August, but only time will tell, really. But the one thing I've noticed from bloom is that we have almost perfect set.
Oh, wow.
There's I'm not getting any shot berries because we're at shatter, right? So that's when the berries that aren't fertilized during bloom fall off the bunches, and that's not happening, which is really unusual. I don't know. I'm not sure what it means. It's good. Let's hope it means something good. So yeah, and we've had some rain, which we need. The area needs it because we're in a drought, and we're always worried about possibility of fires and that sort of thing. So yeah, things are looking great right now.
That's awesome, because I think at some point I wanted to talk to you. I mean, we're coming off of a really dry winter. Barely no snow, so no snow cap in the mountains. So that's something that people were worried about, and already like media picked up on that. And there's already that, oh my God, it's going to be the most fire. That's funny because here in Burgundy, 2/3 of our guests are from Ontario and Quebec, and they heard about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I've heard that there's going to be so many wildfires this year. I'm like, oh my God, like this is a propaganda machine or what?
Yeah, I mean, the government actually downgraded the fire risk from this week from the rains that we've had. Just a little bit, I think, in the Okanagan, but in other parts of the province, it's quite a bit better outlook. So, that's not good.
And so good fruit set. So we're good to go now, and it's exciting. So the growing season is well on the way. I think we're coming off a very spectacular vintage, if I may.
For sure we are. And so we really don't know what's going to happen from here. I mean, often it was a high yielding vintage, and often then it kind of seesaws, right? If you have a really big yielding year, then you might have a lower yielding year. But we had a big yielding year because the year before
was nothing. It was nothing.
They didn't have any fruit at all. So, and we've never had this situation before. So we don't really know what to expect from this year. I think will be another really good year. Honestly, I do. I think the vines are still super healthy from having their gap year, and that gap year and then last year were our best growing seasons, our highest heat units, without like spikes, without weird heat domes and that sort of thing. The winter was really mild, so I think it's going to be great.
Awesome. Oh, hey, we're all ready for that. We are all ready for that. So for people who don't know Hillside too much, before we talk about the wine, let's talk about from the beginning in the 80s, because Hillside is one of the, let's say, the original wineries of the Naramata Bench, if I may call that original. The portfolio, the grape, the planting at the beginning were something a little bit different. It was not what we're used to these days. So can you please take us back when Vera and her husband came from the Eastern Bloc of Europe and established on the Naramata Bench?
Yeah. We're actually really proud of our history here at Hillside, and if you come for a tasting, you're going to hear a lot about our history. Vera Klokochka and her husband Boemer left Czechoslovakia in 1968 when the Soviet Union invaded, and came to Canada and worked for a bit and put together a nest egg so that they were able to come down and purchase an apricot orchard on the Naramata Bench. So that purchase was in 1979. And in 1983, they removed the trees and planted first Gamay and then Muscat Ottonel. Gamay, I've asked Vera recently what the motivation was for the Gamay, and she was looking for something that was did well in a cooler climate, was earlier ripening, which I haven't actually found that it's earlier ripening, but and she actually really liked Beaujolais Nouveau. Beaujolais, I mean, who doesn't love Beaujolais wine, right?
Exactly.
So,
we have a few members who are leaving Burgundy here, and they're going for a week in the Beaujolais. They have stuff set up in Régnier, in Morgon, in Saint-Amour, and all of these beautiful appellations, right?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
So the vines, they're some of the oldest in Canada. It's been argued that they are the oldest Gamay vines in Canada. So planted in 83. So we make an old vines Gamay Noir from it.
Yep.
Which
we'll talk a little later. This is my highest rated Gamay ever. And it was like so cool that I've decided to make a full YouTube video on it.
Nice.
I mean, this Gamay is out of this world in terms of complexity. This is really, really, really cool. But I mean, so this was part of the original planting when Vera planted in 83, right?
Yeah. So what are their 43-year-old vines? So yeah, and they survived the freeze of 2024. So it's pretty remarkable.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, yeah. And then she also planted Muscat Ottonel, which is a member of the Muscat family, which is about 200 strong. Ottonel is very well known in Eastern Europe. It's characterized by really fresh floral aromas. So different from a lot of the Muscats that can be kind of heavy, perfumey, and often finish very sweet. The Ottonel is bright and fresh and dry and really, really nice. The story is Vera knew a fellow with a backyard vineyard, and she thought maybe this was Muscat Ottonel, which she knew from her time in Czechoslovakia. And so she took cuttings and planted and, propagated from that. And years later, the research station in Summerland was able to confirm that it is Muscat Ottonel. So that's pretty cool. Again, the original planting are 43-year-old vines. So, yeah.
This is really cool. And we have some very good tie here with Muscat Ottonel because as I already told you, it's Mira's favorite wine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's originally from Romania, and her mom is originally from Hungary, which she grew up on a Muscat Ottonel vineyard. So, this is the favorite. This is the family wine. Every time we go to Victoria, we need to bring a couple of bottles of Muscat Ottonel. And another cool fact is we're starting to do more international trip. And Mira said, Carl, can we put together a trip to go to Romania and Hungary and bring members with us? So we have for next year in 2027 in the fall a trip. We already have 6 of our members who are here with us here. We're going to come with us to Romania and Hungary to do some wine touring, and they have Muscat Ottonel is something very strong in that area. So oh, that's cool. That would be fun to bring some hillside Muscat Ottonel with us.
Yeah, it would. I mean, the Vienna wine competition, Muscat Ottonel has its own category. So it's like Chardonnay for them, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And years ago I looked into entering because I think that would be super cool. It's really expensive to get it over there. So yeah, we didn't do that.
Hey, you know what? I'll bring the samples next year when I'm coming. So
yeah.
Okay, so that was in 83, and she was part of a something that really revolutionized the BC wine industry, if I may say.
Yeah. So Vera, they planted the vines and became grape growers. But at that time, the way the licensing worked, there was a commercial license and there was an estate license. I think that you had to have 35 acres or something to be an estate winery, right? So there was no way from a grower to make wine and sell it from their cellar door, right? So there was no garagiste, right? The law didn't allow it. And Vera knew a lot of growers, and she had tasted a lot of their wines, and so she became one of the champions of the cause to create a license for farm gate sales, right? So there's a lot of stories in and around that, but she, along with Gunter Lang, who's also on the Naramata Bench, and Adolf Kruger, who started Wild Goose Vineyards, lobbied the BC government and achieved a farm gate license. Now it's called a land-based license, and they received the first 3 licenses in 1989. So BC went from having 13 wineries to I think it's close to 400 now across the province and on the island, which means it's a wine touring region, right?
Absolutely.
13 wineries, that's not a wine touring region. But now, for instance, on the Naramata Bench, there's 44 licensed wineries. Like you could spend a week just on the Naramata Bench touring wineries, right? So, we're super proud of her. The Wine Growers BC gave her an award, I think in 2018. What a lifetime achievement award, I guess they call it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And tell me a bit more about the building, because the building of the winery, it's really unique as well. Something that I definitely haven't seen here in Europe. It's definitely something unique on the bench and in the entire Okanagan. So where's that design is from?
Yeah, so the building that now exists was built around what had been the old farmhouse from the apricot orchard, and Vera's first sort of wine shop and cellar were in that house, right? And then when Vera sold in '95, the current building was started. It was designed by a local architect who also designed Burrowing Owl and Red Rooster, which are very different.
Very different.
And he based the design on a French grits mill, but he used post and beam architecture. And several years ago, a geography professor from UBC Okanagan contacted me because she was bringing a tour from her. She teaches a class in winery architecture and I sort of sat in on the tour, and she said, and she has since written this in textbooks, that Hillside reflects the history of BC more than any other winery in BC, right? The other wineries reflect the history of Tuscany, those sorts of designs. Whereas, with the post and beam, and it's a metal roof, and, in some of the historic sites around BC, you'll see very similar buildings. And so, it's super cool. We're very proud of it.
Really, really, really cool. And so that's for now. You guys are sitting on a very special terroir, a terroir that you've been working with for a very long time and that inside out. So let's talk about the Naramata Bench. Oh, okay. Don't shake your head. Don't be too humble. I'm here with Richard De Silva, which is on the bench with you. We're in France. And he was mentioning to me that no one knows the bench like Kathy Malone.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exactly what he was saying. So Kathy, what makes the bench so special to your opinion?
Well, that's funny you should mention that, because I did a live segment with our owner, Duncan McCowan, our president, Duncan McCowan, who's a geologist, and we were talking a lot about the soils. So there's two things. He's done a lot of research around the world and feels that it's the only area where vines are planted successfully on glacial till. The other winemaking areas of the world are too far south to have been impacted by the glaciers, or too far north, say Patagonia, right? And the reason that's significant is the glaciers came through and stirred up the soils, tilled up the soils, and so mixed them. So other areas of the world are very homogeneous. Patagonia is on igneous rock. Burgundy's on limestone. Whereas the Naramata Bench has many different elements together.
Patches, different
that,
patches at different places, right? The moraine that got left behind.
Yeah. And then on top of that, during the last glacial age, about 12,000 years ago, an ice dam formed at McIntyre Bluff, which is the north end of Oliver, and flooded the lake to one lake system. So Okanagan Lake, Skaha Lake, Vaso Lake became one large glacial lake, Okanagan. And the shoreline was the Naramata Bench, Naramata Road, actually. So the soils below Naramata Road are quite different from above Naramata Road, because below the road, those were lake bottom soils. So silts and clays, and still are, right? And above the road is, this like granites and the glacial till. But also above the road was impacted by seasonal flooding. So there's also these clays and silts, and depending on where you are, like how close you are to a gully or a bluff, you have pockets of the other types of soil. So it's really cool. It makes each vineyard block sort of unique and interesting, and especially when you're making wine. Like, I find that the chemistry of the wine, the chemistry of the juice, because of these soils, makes for very sound juice, very sound wine, and also very tasty. It's a joy to work with as a winemaker. It's really a joy.
And I know it might be a wide question, something that's like there's so many different answers to that, but the bench can produce many different expressions of certain grapes. Do you think there's a one rock star or a few rock star grapes that we can see? Yes, the bench.
I think we can make them all. I think we can make them all. Honest to God, I really do.
I know, and guys like Sal D'Angelo is proving it to everyone right now with his Montepulciano. And when he planted Petit Verdot and these big Bordeaux varietals a while ago now, right?
But I think we're the sweet spot for Pinot Noir. I mean,
Chardonnay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is really, really cool. I need your opinion on that, because I've been on record to say many times that Merlot is one of the unsung hero of the Naramata Bench. I believe that the Merlot of the bench has a beautiful elegance, but incredible complexity. What do you think? And I know you have to go very soon.
I spent a lot of time with Naramata Bench Merlot because we have a single vineyard Merlot series. We have 4 different Merlots from different vineyards on the bench. And but you know what? I think Merlot is the unsung hero of BC. I could kill the producers of Sideways because they're still hurting us. I mean, Merlot is a lovely grape. It's lovely to work with. If it's grown well, it's very sort of forgiving and yummy. It's just yummy. Like, I don't know why we need to turn our noses up on it. But as you say, depending on where it's grown, there can be really interesting complexity in the wine. And unsung hero, that's a good title.
There you go. I know, Kathy, you have a hard stop. We gotta let you go. We have so much more we gotta talk about.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up a little later. On my side, I will post our tasting notes, and our scores are coming up soon. And we're so happy to have you with us and your team, Hillside Estate on the Naramata Bench, all week here, all for the next 2 weeks at Carl's Wine Club. So, Kathy, thanks for being here. I'll gotta let you go.
Yeah, you take care. Enjoy the rest of your time there.
I know, it's almost over. People are leaving tomorrow, so I have to go scouting in Hungary and Romania now.
Nice. Have fun.
Thank you, Kathy.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.